Hello and welcome back. So, Colombo Premadasa, it is going to be today and tomorrow. There's a game being played on between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. And tomorrow is the big one. I really hope the weather gods remain kinder. I think half of the game is almost done away with today, and we really hope tomorrow is also the same case. To talk more on India's chances, what's the playing 11 going to be like, who gets a game, who gets missed out, I have with me my colleagues Praneeth and Shravanan. Hello, guys. How are you both doing?
Doing good,
We are good,
Benjamin.
Junaid. So how are you doing?
So excited to see KL Rahul batting now, though in the indoor nets, but there were some pictures floating around on the social media that KL Rahul is back and he could be drafted back in to have some game time.
So yeah, like for me at this time, Ishan Kishan since past ODIs he have been since few previous ODIs he have been performing consistently. So it's
Uh-huh.
better to reward consistency at that time rather than changing and experimenting uh, with KL Rahul and changing the team composition. I feel India needs to stay with this team till the World Cup until unless there are some injuries or some other issues. So at this time, I wouldn't bring KL Rahul back into the team.
Mhm, mhm. What do you think, Shravan? I mean, is it the right move? I think one more point that I would like to add on, because he came down to Sri Lanka on not yesterday, the day before, and because of heavy rains in Premadasa, there was no opportunity for any outdoor practice until yesterday. So today, I'm not quite sure if the teams have gone to the ground for outdoor practice. Okay, because there are nets just outside the stadium as well. So he didn't get to keep, and he batted indoor. And let me tell you, indoor practice is completely different from the proper outdoor practice, right? So is it going to be like, because if India are experimenting, then obviously I do understand that they might want to give him a chance to play in the 11 and try and get some game time. But if they are looking to win this tournament, then I don't think they would tinker along way too much with the winning combination they have found against Nepal and the one that did pretty much okay against Pakistan as well. What do you think?
I completely agree with you guys because bringing in KL Rahul wouldn't be an ideal choice at this point of time because there is no room for experimentation right now. As we have mentioned in our previous videos, the time for experimentation, whatever you think of with your batting lineup or bowling lineup is done. It's done and dusted. We have given our squad for the World Cup also, so it should not be a time to do experimentation. And given Ishan Kishan's performance and consistency, also uh, another notch above because he's a left-hander now. A left-hander in your lineup is essentially important because even Shaheen Shah Afridi and the other pacers of Pakistan, Azim Shah and Harris Roth didn't have that much success against left-handers. Even in the previous other games also against Bangladesh, they didn't have that success. So I think giving Ishan Kishan a longer rope would be good. Even if you want to try KL Rahul, I think it's not the right time. Maybe
Because
if he had
yeah,
some outdoor practice, like you said, he's still having that
yeah.
indoor practice, which is a different ball game comparatively. So if he had some training sessions in the ground, then we might have a chance like giving a game against Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. That is also not ideal, but still, if you want to have a crack on KL Rahul and how is his fitness or how is his game going now, maybe you need to test that as well.
Because
But
I think,
not.
yeah, I get your point. I mean, again, Preetham, it's like you have already selected him in the World Cup squad, so you have to play him somewhere so that he gets
Yes.
that game time. So if you really want to target and win the Asia Cup, then do you think the Australia series could be
Yeah, that's what I'm
experimenting
going to say.
for
Because we
him?
have Australia series coming up, which you are going to
Yeah.
play in our home ground, home country now. So maybe you can give him a chance there and see where he is, and you can decide then whether you can take him or not. Because till September 20th, we have a chance to change our squad. So maybe that will give you a chance to test KL Rahul, and we can have a crack on him. Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Preetham?
Uh, so yeah,
Sorry.
uh, so what I think is uh, like Sharvanan said about the left hand batsman in between.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Pakistan, since too many tournaments, 2021 T20 tournament, they weren't able to get Matthew Wade out,
Mm-hmm.
and 22 tournament he uh, somehow Ben Stokes they weren't able to get Ben Stokes out, even though they
Yeah.
were able to manage Joss Butler, Alex Sales, and everyone. And in previous match against Bangladesh, Shakib Al Hasan, they were struggling against him. So for me, I don't think it's the concern of Pakistan team. It's the for every team, left-handers become a concern. So with that aspect, Ishan Kishan uh, could be one positive asset for the team. And
Mm-hmm.
with giving KL Rahul that time, I think you could try in with uh, teams like Sri Lanka or Bangladesh in Super Fours, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe in the Australia tour to see if he's match fit or ready, right? And one more problem with the KL Rahul is that somehow, if you remember that T20 World Cup like last year,
Okay.
right before the World Cup, there was Australia series, T20 series again. Over there, KL Rahul was performing really well. But once the World Cup started, his entire uh, he was not there mentally somehow. So for me, it feels like in every major tournament, somehow KL Rahul is not there uh, uh, with with the mental strength he needs, and somehow in the pressure situations he can't deliver. So
Well, I think yeah, that's what I have noticed basically. Like in crunch games, I haven't seen that performance coming from him, except that one game against Pakistan in 2019 World Cup, wherein there was huge pressure with Shikhar Dhawan out with an injury, and then he had to open with Rohit Sharma, and he scored some 50 odd runs. So that was a game he performed, and otherwise, I haven't seen him deliver. Basically, all right. Coming back to the next most important person being talked about in the Indian squad is Shardul Thakur, because the news that is being floated around, being circulated, is that Rohit Sharma is adamant that there will be a cushion for the batting unit with Shardul at number 8. All right. So now, the thing is, he is playing as a bowling all rounder. Is playing as a batting all rounder. Hardik gets to bowl more number of overs compared to Shardul. So, is there a contrast there? Yes, there is definitely. But how keen should the management be in trying to play Shardul Thakur? Should he retain his spot? That's the first question. And would you compromise a 10 over genuine bowler, whether it's a spinner or fast bowler, to make way for Shardul Thakur?
So if you remember in early, like in the 80s and 90s, like wicket keepers, they were proper wicket keepers. No one cared
Yes.
about their batting skills. Then came Adam Gilchrist, and every team were like, okay, Adam Gilchrist came. Then for Zimbabwe, there was Andy Flower and everyone, right? So now every team was like, we need someone with a good batting skills.
True.
So India weren't able to find for few years, and till they found MS Dhoni, they were trying with. They had to go with Rahul Dravid, even though his keeping
Yes.
was decent, but uh, but that allowed the team to have an extra batter, so that's why they went with him. And at this time, after 2015, when England changed their entire strategy and everything, where they are uh, where they are going for that extra batters, like they are going for too many all rounders, which allows them to play freely. So that extra batter, even though that extra batter is not contributing to the team, but it adds to the psychological advantage to the team to play freely, right? So that's one positive thing if you take Shardul Thakur. Adding Shardul Thakur would give them that psychological edge to the top order batsman to play freely rather than worrying about losing the wicket.
Mhm.
And with regards to him him being as a bowler, he can give you breakthroughs here and there, but you can't expect him to uh, give you wickets in every single game. So you have to kind of expect Shardul Thakur and Hardik Pandya. both in combination will give you 10 overs and will give you one wicket or at most 1 wicket or 2 wickets in a game, or they could bowl economically. That's what you need to set the expectations. And if that's the expectations, I don't mind uh, sitting out for the game.
But okay, all right. So we heard Ajit Agarkar in one of the press conferences where he said you could see the Kohlis and the Sharmas rolling them arm over, right? So if it's about getting 5 overs of the kitty, all right, from a part timer, then why don't you have somebody else, even Shreyas Iyer bowls at times, right? So
Um,
bowl them. And if you are so concerned about like providing some cushion to the batting unit, draft in somebody like a Surya Kumar Yadav, then you become absolutely undisputable.
you can draft in Surya Kumar Yadav, but he is not consistent enough. That is the major criticism he's having. Yes,
At least he
but
gives you.
coming to the Shardul Thakur question, I
Sorry,
think,
go on.
yeah, if Shardul Thakur, I don't think it should be answered in a generic way, because if you see, tomorrow we are going to play in Colombo, where the history says that it is a typical low and slow wicket, like a complete what do you say, complete Asian typical surface there. The spinners will have a good crack on the pitch, and also it has a tendency to go low and slow over the game progresses. In the past, also it is clearly mentioned that the teams are winning the toss, bat first and put a total on the board, then you can defend it later on under the lights. So we are also going tomorrow. It is also going to rain. There is some rain prediction. So I think dropping Shardul for tomorrow's game would be good for India, because you can draft in Akshar Patel also. Though Akshar and Jadeja possess a same kind of profile, Akshar can give you the 10 overs completely. You can rely on Akshar Patel completely for his 10 overs, and also he can bowl economically. And he bowls those tight lines, which will make the batsman to create some mistakes, and then we can have the wickets. So for tomorrow's game, I don't pick Shardul Thakur. I can go instead Akshar Patel, because he provides a batting cushion to me again. Akshar Patel coming in at 8 will be a huge advantage for Hardik Pandya and Jadeja also, because when Hardik comes in at 6, and he can think that okay, after me there is Jadeja and Akshar Patel, they can also swing their arms and they can also give you runs. In the bowling department also, it will also provide a good question for the faster bowlers. Also, Hardik can relax a bit, can bowl 4 to 5 overs spell, because Akshar and Jadeja can give you again 20 overs completely. Along with Kuldeep, there will be in Colombo, and particularly in saying in Colombo, you can have Akshar Patel and Jadeja, Kuldeep in your team, and
Yes, because I would like to interrupt you here and say, if you have seen the '90s cricket, then Arvinda, Dharmasena, and I'm forgetting one more name. I'm not even talking about Muralidharan. I'm not even
yes,
talking about Muralidharan yet.
Jaisuri.
Dharmasena,
Jayasuriya can bowl you.
Surya,
Russell
Cecil.
Arnold comes and get
Yeah,
you at
so they
times.
used to they used to bowl proper 30
Complete 10
overs,
overs.
complete 10 overs each, plus 10 overs of Murli, right? So that's the kind of surface Colombo offers you. So
Yes.
basically, for tomorrow, I mean, if I were to give my opinion, then I wouldn't pick Shardul Thakur, and I would go with Akshar and Jadeja both, right? And Kuldeep will obviously be there, and drop one pacer and just go with two pacers and Hardik. That would be my strategy. What do you
You can
think, Pradeep?
also open the bowling attack with Akshar Patel. He can bowl well in power play also. You can
Yes.
have Akshar and Bumrah bowling in tandem against power play. Then
Hmm.
it will give you some cushion. Also, if you can try them in the middle overs also. In the middle also, he will have some control again with Kuldeep, Jadeja, Akshar bowling in tandem. Will be a perfect one in Colombo, especially in Colombo.
Perfect.
But tomorrow again, it's raining. You never know. It could be overcast conditions. So you need to be uh, wary of that as well. Uh, Between whether you want to pick Shardul Thakur or Akshar Patel. So that's one thing you could consider uh, when going for that. But mostly, I think Shardul Thakur would be playing instead of Akshar Patel or Shami. And as far as you have mentioned that Ajit Agarkar said that Rohit Sharma, Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli can also bowl a bit of
Over, yeah.
yeah, do a part-time bowling, right? But would you consider all those four bowlers
No.
Uh, in terms like in comparison of Shardul Thakur's bowling, Shardul Thakur he's a decent bowler to be honest, and he has also played Test cricket for India, and he has a ability to bowl those wicket taking balls, even though he hasn't uh, performed well in ODIs. But he has that ability in the middle overs where we struggle to take those wickets. So drafting Surya Kumar Yadav and expecting bowling from those four batsmen is something I wouldn't go for.
Well,
That's
definitely,
another
I
point.
wouldn't go for at this stage of our
Uh,
build-up. But if you really wanted to do something, try out something, you should have done it for the past 6 months or 8 months. Wherein Kohli, maybe he should have bowled a couple of overs every one day he played, and so did Gill and Ayers and Rohit Sharma. But now, if you try and do that, the oppositions, no matter who it is, would try to pounce on you. Those 5 overs or 6 overs of your fifth, sixth, and seventh bowler could go for 60 or 70 odd runs. So now would not be the time for it, but you never know. I mean, Kohli has bowled in the past. Rohit Sharma has rolled his arm over occasionally. Shreyas Iyer has done it. So, but I'm not quite sure if they are going to stick to that strategy and provide a cushion. But I have actually heard several journalists who have spoken to Rohit Sharma over the last couple of days, and they say that the team management is pretty clear that they want somebody at number 8 who can bat. So they are looking for that extra cushion. So that gives you a hint basically where this is going. So Shardul Thakur may just retain his place for the time being in this Asia Cup. So come the Australia series, you never know. Things could change, but this is what it is as of now. Now, coming back to the most important question for tomorrow, what do you think should be our strategy? I mean, especially with the toss, just in case if we win the toss, overcast conditions, it's been raining cats and dogs for the past few days. Will you bowl first? Shouldn't be a brainer, right?
uh,
Let's go with Kenny first.
It isn't.
so if India wins the toss, they should be like no questions asked. They should go for the batting, right? Because they need to look from the longer picture, at a big picture, which is the World Cup, right?
Okay.
They need to ensure that uh, they should be able to deal with uh, deal with the worst case scenarios, right? Even in 2019 World Cup, uh, against New Zealand, Matt Henry and Trent Bolt were literally lethal when the swinging conditions came and it became favorable for them. So those things shouldn't happen again and again. And secondly, uh, if you think that overcast conditions and if you bowl first and get Pakistan all out for like let's say 200, 220, but still it won't be easy to bat for the second innings as well with the bowling quality that these guys have.
True.
So it's better to go for the batting first option only, even though the conditions are overcast and all those things. And yeah, that's my opinion.
What about you,
Yeah, for
Shravan?
me also. Yeah, for me also, batting first would be the ideal choice because I won't get into that. Playing under lights against Shaheen Shah will be a lethal one. Anytime you play against Shaheen Shah Afridi, he is going to be lethal only. But maybe Indian batters didn't have that. What do you say? What was expectation from them was not fulfilled by them in the Pakistan game. Against Nepal, it was not a battle. Also, it was just they just played very easily. But with Pakistan, they should bat first, and they should what do you say? They should get some runs under their belt. It is
On
pretty
the flip
essential now.
side, on
Yeah.
the flip side of it, don't you think our fast bowlers looked a bit rusty even against Nepal? And Bumrah hasn't bowled 50 overs yet. So for me, Shreyas Iyer, Bumrah, and KL Rahul haven't had good 100 overs under their kitty so far, right? So I would suggest, my opinion again,
Mm.
if they win the toss, provided the conditions are overcast, which is likely to be, so go for bowling first, all right, and test out Bumrah, Shami, as well as Siraj against their batting lineup. Because regardless of what it is, you're going to have somebody lethal as Shaheen, running into you even in the second inning. So the batsman will be tested, no doubt about it. But we will have to make sure that our bowling lives up to the expectation and delivers. Because right now, the whole world is writing our bowling off after that performance against Nepal, wherein we didn't pick up wickets early on in the innings. So,
Yeah, they are a
So
bit
for
rusty,
me,
but the
uh,
but our fielding also just let us down completely.
exactly, yes.
If you
it was
drop
the
catches,
fielding. Because
yeah,
of the fielding, it looks like bowling is rusty. Think about it. Like in the first 5 overs, if Nepal was like 10 for 3, we would have been like, the bowling is great, everything is fine. But it's just the fielding that let us down, and that is making the bowling look bit rusty.
True.
yeah,
So
it's
I'm
complete.
not concerned too much about bowling. So
Okay.
somehow these guys can manage, like in every tournament so far, from let's say after COVID, it's the
Okay.
batting who is letting us down rather than bowling.
Yeah,
Like
batting
bowling is
also
doing a
letting us down
decent
in the most
decent
crunch
job.
moments.
Batting
In
is something
bilaterals,
that
we
is
are
letting us down. Yeah.
Mhm.
we are just invincibles. But when it comes to multi team tournament, then we are
So
just
I have my
lagging a
serious
bit.
doubts on bilaterals also now after the
Mm,
Bangladesh thing and Australia things that have
yes,
happened,
yes.
even in the West Indies. So yeah, I think we have to restart again, regroup, recalibrate, and
I think
do
after
some.
this World Cup, the team
And even
management and
if
the
you
captain should
Yeah.
sit and discuss that thing, because we should have a vision coming up. Each
Mhm.
and every year we have a major tournament coming up after this. So
Actually, that's the thing with the Indian cricket. Like it goes from World Cup to World Cup. So there's always a cycle that goes on. So whoever the next coach is, he's gonna be until maybe 2026, some or 2025 Champions Trophy. I mean, he'll be given a contract like that, and also the captaincy would be something similar. So if you have that
all
vision, then your target should be that particular trophy, then that major
yes,
trophy.
also the selectors should be also consistent, because you
Yes.
keep on changing the selection committee as well. The communication between the selection committee management and the players were not that much, I think, because you're letting down your premium off spinner Ashwin. He hasn't played any ODIs off late. Also, you're just putting aside Chahal, your leg spinner. He can give you wickets. I understand that he is not that much impressive in the recently concluded IPL, and also they haven't played much ODIs. Also, given these 15-member squad, these 15 guys haven't played ODIs together. You see, Kohli has been rested for a long time now. Whenever if a game against West Indies or Sri Lanka, they are thinking that they are subpar side and they are just resting themselves. Also, they are not also coming to the tour itself sometimes. If you see last
Honest.
2021,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
sent
Go
a
on.
second string squad to Sri Lanka, captained by Shikhar Dhawan, and the first squad went to England to play Test series. So I see that there is some what do you say? There is not that much relationship between the team players also. They are just not gelling each other well, and if you see in the past, you have Sachin, who is not rested for a long period of time. He has a record of playing 250 games continuously without taking any break. But these things are not happening in today's cricket, in today's game.
But you
Um,
know what? This is happening because India is playing way too many games. Like you gave an example, right? First string team went to play a Test series against England, and the second string game is playing a ODI series against Sri Lanka. The
yes.
thing is, both of the games are happening at the same time, so you can't expect Virat Kohli to play both of them, right? That's the
No,
problem in the current scenario.
Again,
I'm not
again, it comes
expecting
down to
same
the
Virat Kohli to
administration.
play in all the games. If you
Again, it
see,
comes down to the administration. Sorry, I mean, you
yes,
could have played the test match, and you could have then gone to play the series in Sri Lanka, because it's as though you are trying to treat the Sri Lankan board as children of lesser god, maybe. I mean, or
No,
you
no,
just
that was
disregard.
that
You
series
just
was how it overlapped. That's the thing. It
not
overlapped
but
with
that
the
series
test
who
alone.
series.
decides?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Who
I'm not saying that
decides?
series
That's the
alone.
question. I mean, it's the boards who decide, right? It's the bilateral thing. So
Hmm,
you
hmm.
could have told Sri Lankan board, right? We will come and play you, but against, I mean, after we are done with the test match, the one-off test match left over in England, right? So, but you didn't do that. You said, I mean, there has been, I don't know if there, if you call that pride or arrogance, but there is something that goes on. Okay, we can have three teams or four teams now, but unfortunately, we can't even make one proper squad. Before the
Yes.
World Cup, we were actually trying to, I mean, we were struggling to get those 15 in proper order, basically. And couple of injuries to our key players, Rishabh Pant, Bumrah, maybe a Prasidh Krishna or someone else out, right? KL Rahul for that matter. And then we looked like we were so thin, right? So we actually need to just sit down and have a proper discussion. I think the way forward for the Indian management would be to manage the players' injuries. That would be the real cause of concern because, right, we have the talent, we have the pool of players that we would ideally wanted, always wanted, perhaps. So now it's all about like managing their time and managing their injuries. Like, why are they getting injured so often? That is one question our medical staff should have to answer and work on it going forward so that we have the best available resources to play against best oppositions.
Also, for this cause, you can take England's management for an example because after this 2015 World Cup exit, early exit, they completely decided that I'm going to play these many players in the white ball cricket and these players in the red ball cricket. After that, Anderson and Broad didn't play any any white ball cricket. Owen Morgan, he himself retired from the test cricket and he just concentrated in the ODIs only. They have lost in the 2016 World Cup final, but still they went on with that process of going attacking cricket. They just made it very clear that we are going to play this brand of cricket and we need this kind of players only. He created that pool of players actually, and also he nurtured the future captains in his side. If you see, Owen Morgan will play 3 games, and in the fourth game he will make Josh Butler to lead a side. Then after that he make Moeen Ali to lead a side. But this has not happened in India. Uh, I'm still saying that we had too many captains in the recent
Yes.
2 3 years, but the Rohit Sharma is not in that squad itself. But Owen Morgan traveled with the squad. He was in the bench, but still Josh Butler lead that side in that particular game only, not letting the team alone. He was there.
That's what that's what Josh Butler did with Moeen Ali. He traveled to
Yeah,
Pakistan and let Moeen
he's
captain
just
all.
passing that baton now.
Exactly.
They are completely doing
And
this, and they have
one
created
more
this
thing with
culture.
and one more thing with Asian countries, like even if you see with Sri Lanka, Pakistan, India, uh, Sri Lanka, like let's say that's like a past thing. Not, I wouldn't say now. We have a tendency of someone who is performing good in tests, we kind of put him in T20s and ODIs. For example,
Hmm.
Mukesh Kumar. Like if you
Yeah.
say that his strength is a long format bowling, so why are you bringing him in ODIs? And
ODIs,
same
yeah.
with Jaydev Unadkat, they did the same thing. So we need to get out of that mindset that this player is good, so he will play all 3 formats. So we need to segregate the players. Okay, fine. This
Mhm.
guy's strength lies in shorter formats, so we would utilize him in that. This guy is a long format player, so let's
That's what
utilize for World Test Championships.
That's what they do with Arshdeep. I don't understand why and where it comes from. Mukesh Kumar, who plays a test, also gets to play the ODIs and T20s, wherein Arshdeep, who genuinely brings in a different angle altogether, right? And he only plays T20s
T20s.
more often. Yeah. So he could have been drafted into the test squad as well to try and see if he could swing and seam a bit, but that wasn't the case to be. So maybe I don't know if it's a selective approach to basically get some players into all the 3 formats and keep certain players in certain formats, basically. So I think only the team management could answer that. Now, before we wrap up and before my final questions on prediction, I have one more question for you both. Hanbantota was decided, but they went ahead with Colombo. There has been a lot of discussions, a lot of debates, arguments. How do you guys see it? I mean, if there was no rains in Hanbantota and Dambola, then they could have gone for that. So I think, and then there's a reserve day that has been added on 11th. So a reserve day, a change in the format of the tournament right in the middle of it. All right. And no other teams get to see the reserve day, right? Just in case,
Yes.
what happens if today's game is washed out between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka? Can't they complain? So it's the broadcaster who's running the show, basically. That looks like it.
I mean, that's
Uh,
true because in the first India Pakistan match, also, the second half got eliminated completely, and broadcasters would have been like, not very happy about it, right? Because they have lost like a lot of revenue opportunities, and at the same time, fans who have paid the money for the tickets didn't get to
Yes.
see the second half. They would also be like uh, what you call uh, very unhappy about it. And when you see the next upcoming matches, no one is turning up for that. They're like, if it is gonna rain, why should I waste my money for the tickets?
Hmm.
So that's why they kind of they're seeing that tomorrow there's a prediction for rain, so they're like, for the safe side, okay, fine, uh, let's go for a reserve day. Whereas today's match, Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh, it is completely sunny,
Yeah.
right? So maybe they kind of set a reserve day according to the weather predictions. Maybe
Now that's going to
uh,
be very tricky for India because they have a game again, just in case if 10th gets washed out for some reason and India plays on 11th and completes the match. So they play, I think, Bangladesh or Sri Lanka on 12th. So you
Yes,
are playing on 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that's going to be way too much. I mean, it's a 50-over game at the end of the day,
right.
right? So, Shravan, predictions. What do you think? Who's going to win tomorrow?
India, India again.
And who's going to be your man of the match?
No, but why I'm saying India means given Colombo is a slow and low surface, I think Pakistani paces will again stream in with 140, 145 plus, and it will be relatively easy for Indian batters to score also. I think in that way because the pitches evidently will be slow, so I think their paces will not get that much purchase. So I think it will be good one for India. So I think given that small edge to India, I'm just going with India this time. And my
Sunil?
man of the match would be Virat Kohli hitting 100 tomorrow, so that he will
Sunil,
get
what
that.
do you
So I would think that like for me, mm, it's the same thing. It's a slow wicket. Pakistani pacers wouldn't be having that edge which they had in Palikali.
think?
But and second thing is, Pakistani spinners are like they're not up to
That
the
much good.
mark. So I think India will do fairly well tomorrow. And for me, I feel Kuldeep Yadav is someone who is going to have
So,
a good game
you
tomorrow.
you actually stole my words. I was about to say my man of the match would be Kuldeep.
Kuldeep Yadav, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's going to be India tomorrow, and I think Kuldeep Yadav to take at least 4 wickets, in my opinion. That's what I'm banking on. Kuldeep to come really, really good and deliver. Well, that's the time we have for today, and we will do a post match on this. And do join us again. For now, it's goodbye from Praneesh, Ravanan, and myself. Thank you so much, and do share and subscribe. Like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and also share as much as you can. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Thank you.